Now, despite it being 90 degrees outside of our little studio, it is officially October, and it is time to embrace the spookiness. And usually, it would be safe for you all to assume that we would snarkily downplay all the fun that people have this month, but considering how much of an actual hellscape our current world resembles, let's just all cut loose for a while and enjoy the memes, the scary movies, and all that pumpkin spiced bullshit. Because how could I mock someone for enjoying a pumpkin spice latte while at the same time enjoying a pumpkin flavored beer? That would be dumb.
Yeah.
And I do love that pumpkin ale from, whatchamacallit up there.
I don't.
It's okay.
But while posting gifs of dancing skeletons and starting to wear more layers of clothing, even though it's still 90 degrees out, is all cute fun. Over the weekend, Lindsay Lohan kicked off the season of scares with some actual terrifying behavior by haunting a family living on the streets. By the way, I'm pretty sure that we've read more strange sentences and headlines this year than every other year of doing this show combined, and Lindsay Lohan haunting a family of refugees on the streets of Moscow is pretty far up there for things that we would have never thought that we would be telling you about.
So, now imagine meeting the 2004 version of yourself, and then you ask yourself, wow, what's 2018 like? Do cars drive themselves yet? Is Screamo still big? And then I would answer, well, yeah, some cars can sort of drive themselves. Screamo's seen as retro, and there are actually club nights dedicated to the nostalgia of it. Oh, and by the way, Lindsay Lohan, the star of Mean Girls, she got punched in the face for live streaming an attempted kidnap of some kids in Russia. So, I mean, the future sounds awesome, right?
No, I hate it.
But enough talking to myself from the past. What the hell happened here?
So first of all, this happened in Paris. So a lot of the reporting is wrong because most, if not all, of the information came directly from a live stream that Lindsay Lohan herself started on her Instagram sometime on Friday. And I guess people just assumed for whatever reason that she was in Moscow. Probably she's been dating a lot of them oligarchs.
She's bounced around in Europe. And,
I think her main, her central hub is Dubai.
London, Dubai.
She owns a day club on Mykonos.
Yeah.
She's living her best life apparently.
Yeah, until this, yeah.
Anyway, a few tweets indicated that it was Moscow. Those started going out and people just ran with it.
I've seen even multiple reputable sources, like the BBC is confused as to whether this is Moscow or Paris, but I went on to a French news site and they were like, no, it's in Paris.
Wow.
So,
all right.
I'm 90% sure it's Paris. But that's not the point.
Yeah, so she actually live streamed this entire thing in what we can only assume she thought was some kind of noble humanitarian effort to show the world how charitable and nice she is. This was, what people say, virtue signaling.
Yeah.
She was virtue signaling full fucking force.
Yeah, it hits all the notes. It hits virtue signaling, being misguided, self-owns with cell phones. Yeah. So it hits a lot of the notes there. Now, even if she thought that this was going to be a nice gesture where nothing could go wrong, she quickly turned combative with the family, so that's not the right step. Now, the stream starts off with her wanting to introduce her Instagram following to the people that she met who apparently need her help. She describes them as a family of Syrian refugees and is upset that they're living on the streets with their children. So as a charitable gesture, she offers to put them up in a hotel so they, including her, can all go watch movies together.
Do you want to stay in a hotel tonight? Do you want to watch movies? It'd be so cool, right? To watch a movie on TV or a computer? Let me take them, let them sleep. Come with me, you and me come.
Noble.
Yeah, totally normal and noble.
They refuse because, well, I mean, they have no idea who Lindsay Lohan is, and to them, they're just being bothered on the street by someone who's putting a camera in their face and promising a hotel room.
Yeah, so she doesn't take the refusal very well.
No.
She doesn't get the hint. And instead of, I don't know, leaving the family alone and continuing on with her night out in Paris, or I don't know, just giving them some fucking money.
Yeah.
No need to get all hands-on about it. They seem like they might need some money. Just give it to
Drop a few
them.
euros in there.
Yeah. Instead of that, she decides that the best course of action is to accuse the mother of not working hard enough for her children.
And you should be doing what you do for your children so they have a better life.
Nice. To yell at them in what she thinks is Arabic.
Shut up. I won't leave until I take you.
Or what she thinks sounds like Arabic.
She's had a Middle Eastern accent for apparently 2 years now, but she also tries to use the language as well and completely butchers it and doesn't say anything.
Apparently there was only like 2 words in there, and they're like the 2 most common Arabic words. So yeah, I mean, she's lived in Dubai for years. She picked up around 4 words. Good for you. Lindsay. Anyway, after that vaguely racist attempt at communication, she continued to bicker at them for refusing her gift. And then once they decided that they'd had enough of her bullshit and they attempted to leave, she followed them.
Yes, she did.
And then she told them not to fuck with her and not to fuck with Pakistan.
Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with Pakistan.
I don't know what Pakistan has to do with any of this.
Yep.
But then she accused them of human trafficking.
They're trafficking children.
And told them that they are ruining Arab culture.
This is not Arab. You're ruining Arab culture by doing this.
And then she repeatedly tried to convince the kids to come with her. Leave your mom and dad, come with me.
It's
Lindsay
me,
Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan.
And then when all of that shockingly failed, she literally tried to grab one of those kids and take him with her.
Give me your hand. Give me your hand.
So up until this point, the family, they'd put up with quite a lot. They were friendly enough in the initial conversation, then they tried to leave the situation, which is what you should do if something like this happens.
Don't escalate.
Yeah, if someone comes out of a bar drunk or something and tries to pick a fight with you, just leave.
Walk away.
Just leave. You're not going to convince them that what they're doing is wrong or right. So they did try to leave the situation, but then they were followed while having a bunch of gibberish shouted at them in various accents and mangled dialects. But when Lindsay Lohan decided enough was enough and tried to grab one of the children away from them, the mom justifiably punched her right in the face and knocked her on the ground, sending her camera along with it. Yeah, quick reminder, again, this whole thing was live streamed or done on an Instagram story or whatever by Lohan herself, with people just chatting along the entire time and with users on Twitter sharing clips during the whole ordeal, with the general consensus being, what the fuck is going on? Or, Lindsay Lohan is trying to kidnap children live on Instagram.
Doing it for the gram.
I mean, she really when you have to one-up yourself, when you're up against YouTubers and other Instagram celebrities, you gotta one-up them.
Yeah, and she started that game.
Yeah.
And she's been out of the spotlight for a while. But
you know what? Hey, you know what?
She's the original teen fuck up.
I thought that, in my mind, I'm like, oh, she's probably doing fine because you know what happened over the past couple of years? She just kind of shut the fuck up.
Yeah, well.
Now she's back.
She just literally moved to the other side of the world to go fuck shit up over there.
I guess you could call it a Freaky Friday.
So the rest of this stream is Lindsay Lohan crying about getting punched and saying how scared she is.
And they were trying to run to me, and I'm just so scared.
Oh, you're scared.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, I mean, to be fair, she probably deserved that punch. Nah, she definitely deserved that punch.
Yeah.
These people were putting up with her bullshit as best they could until the actress, who they don't even know, tried to take one of their kids away from them. Physically.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what mother wouldn't fucking defend her kids against some random person on the streets of a major city? This lady did what we would all hope to do. Punch Lindsay Lohan in the face.
Well, to be fair, she handled the situation as best she could.
Yeah.
She tried to calm everyone down, then leave, and then was followed, then had her child touched by a stranger, and then the motherly instinct kicks in. It's like bear cubs look cute, not gonna go pet one.
I think the use of force was justified. She delayed it for long enough. Anyway, what the hell was Lindsay thinking by doing any of this? What did she think the end result would be? She's live streaming a fun playtime with some stolen refugee kids back at the hotel while she plays Herbie Fully Loaded on TV and repeatedly informs the kid that, oh, that's actually me on screen? How cool is that?
Isn't that pretty cool?
You look old now. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, excuse me? Back to the street. I mean, that would be kidnapping, right?
Yeah,
that's
pretty much
okay,
textbook kidnap.
And then what?
But the only way to stop a kidnapper
Is a good kidnapper.
is a good kidnapper.
Yeah. So then what? She goes to sleep to dream about how she's this great humanitarian, only to wake up the next day, look around and wonder where the fuck did that Syrian kid come from?
Yeah.
Wait, what the fuck? Why is my phone blowing up? Anyways, yeah, whole thing, pretty sad. And lots of weird shit going on there on many levels. Now, there is a bit of backstory, oddly enough, leading up to this whole thing because, like we said before, she's been living in and out of Europe and the UAE for a while, which could explain her strange broken accent. I know if I spend more than 2 weeks in Georgia, I start getting that drawl.
Yeah, so where can a man find a mint julep around here?
That's fucking Louisiana again.
Mint julep.
Okay. Anyways, it seems like she actually might care about refugees. She's been outspoken about that at some point. She even at one point did an interview about it on Turkish television.
That's great.
Yes. But Christ, did she go about it in literally the most misguided way possible?
You know, this is like, it's the same thing we come back to with like Elon Musk trying to like personally save children in a cave and all that. Did you leave that to like human trafficking experts?
Yeah. Like, donate to those organizations.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, if you really, I mean, you're gonna look like fucking Bake Sale Betty or whatever that lady's name was, Barbecue Becky. Just like if you're calling like a human trafficking out, like I think they're like, yeah, I mean. So, but still, just make a call instead of live streaming your kidnapping attempt.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, as a palate cleanse to that whole poopy story, and in the most incredibly jarring segue to a completely different story possible, hey look, we got a new gameplay trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2.
See, act out all your fantasies in a virtual world instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the game, as you would probably assume, looks incredible.
Yeah.
We spoke last week about the over 200 species of animals that exist in the game to make you feel immersed, with the devs going so far with realism that your horse's balls now shrink in cold weather, or if they take a big old piss, because pee is, of course, stored in the balls.
So this new gameplay trailer shows off how the gameplay will move fluidly in and out of activities like a movie when you do certain actions or tasks or follow the story. It also displays the insane amount of activities you can do while in this world and the sheer number of options available to you for your everyday life as the character. You want to shower, shave, donate to the less fortunate? You could do that. You want to skip showering, look like a beast, and kidnap people off the streets while live streaming the whole thing to your Instagram page? You could do that. Except for the live streaming on Instagram thing, that wasn't around back then, but you could live stream you playing the game and doing that while shouting whatever garbled up bullshit you want to, I guess. As long as you don't break the TOS.
It's true.
I mean, you could rob people, you could play poker, you can go canoeing, chop some wood, do the work you don't want to do in real life, in the virtual world. Just explore the frontier. It's up to you. The game, it looks, I'm very excited.
It looks pretty. I can't wait to buy it on PC in 3 years.
Oh, you're not gonna get it for the Xbox?
I don't know, I might.
Okay.
I don't like this business practice.
Yeah.
They already did it to me once. I bought GTA 5 twice. Why I gotta buy this one twice?
Just get a line of credit from Microsoft and get a new Xbox funded.
Anyway, they also showed off 2 more features that have been popping up on gaming websites over the past few days. One is the first-person mode, which will operate much like the mode in GTA 5, where you can go in and out of it as you please. The other is that your interactions with the people inside this world will stay with you and them throughout the game. If you fuck someone over or you kill someone, their families and the people who know them will resent you forever, and they might actually try to hunt you down.
Yeah.
This is basically Westworld.
It's literally Westworld.
I am sure that, I mean, the game was probably in development long before that show came out, but I'm sure that, like, altered some of how they approached the immersiveness of that.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a lot to take in. I think as far as single-player experiences go, this is the game we've been most excited about over the last 2 years or so, as it's been slowly leading up to release.
Hell, Elliot thought it was coming out next year. It was a nice
yeah.
surprise for you, I guess.
I just assume everything takes forever.
But enough about Red Dead. You're either stoked for it or you're skipping it. You've already made your mind up, so whatever. But you know something else that we were excited for this year that was actually never announced, even though it seemed like the perfect time for another sequel? Borderlands 3.
Oh, they actually were working on it. Liars.
Maybe, Elliot. Now, we thought for sure that Gearbox was going to announce a new Borderlands sequel at E3 this year, and it took us by complete surprise that they didn't. Now, that's not to say one is or isn't in some stage of development. You could assume that they would be developing a Borderlands 3, but why not announce something? Well, apparently, there were some personal problems over at Gearbox over the past few years that no one could have predicted, and one man could have nearly brought down the entire company, or at the very least, hindered progress on any of their games while the head of the company dealt with his bullshit.
Yeah, so this is pretty crazy. A few years back, Gearbox CEO and co-founder Randy Pitchford hired a personal assistant named John Wright Martin. And after about a year of working for them, Mr. Martin had the genius idea to just use the access he had to the personal finances of Pitchford and his wife to live his own lavish lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's called embezzlement. He's spending somewhere around $3 million of Pitchford's money over the past few years using company credit cards and forged checks.
So holy shit. Now, according to local Dallas news, John Wright Martin, pictured here looking exactly like you thought he would. He bought designer clothes, jewelry, electronics, hotel stays, airfares, and even Amazon movie rentals. He had a, quote, self-admitted addiction to fine shoes and blazers. So there you go.
Texas is too hot for blazers. What are you doing?
In an interview with the news outlet, Pitchford said that Martin got, quote, better and better at finding ways of spending our money. And the paper goes on to say that, quote, that included big parties, one event that combined art, music, and food, and drinks, and promised a night of indulging the senses at the historic penthouse atop Le Méridien, Dallas.
So, I ask this every time an embezzlement like this happens, but how could Pitchford not notice that all this money was missing or being spent? Man,
That's why you hire an assistant.
My assistant sure has expensive tastes. I wonder how he's able to afford all this off the money, the paycheck. I know how much he's earning.
Yeah, they reported it in the paper. He was getting paid $45,000 a year.
Wow, he really knows how to pinch a penny.
He must be investing this very well.
Also, that $45,000 is a bit low. Come on.
Yeah, especially for Dallas. I mean, if you're a multimillionaire and you're getting an assistant who you trust with every point of your life,
that's pretty low. I mean,
pretty low. It's like a one-bedroom apartment in Dallas.
If you're gonna trust someone to have access to all of these things, maybe pay them a more livable wage, and they'll not think about robbing your blind for years.
Well, okay.
Not saying what he did is good. It's very bad.
In most scenarios, you might be right. But in this scenario, it continues to get weird. And yeah, how they could not notice the money missing, that's on them.
Yeah, that's on them. But apparently the true shock came when they were notified that they didn't have enough money in their account to make employee payroll for his wife's restaurant and coffee shop. So then they started looking deeper into their personal finances, and they discovered all these insane charges. But it didn't stop there, because in what we assume was done in order to keep this whole thing out of the press, the couple had their attorneys write up an agreement which included a confidentiality clause and stated that Martin would just repay the $780,000, despite Pitchford later admitting the actual number that was stolen from them was close to $3 million. So
he got off pretty well.
Just to save face?
Yeah. They're like, give us some of the money back.
Completely avoided criminal charges, set up a payment plan with this guy. This is insane.
Well, hold on, Elliot. So do you think that this totally honest dude paid them back and that everything would be fine?
No!
Well, since the story's in the news and they signed that confidentiality agreement, I guess you could assume that the answer is no, and you'd be right. Now, he apparently wrote them a check for the first payment, which was a sum of $598,000, but whoops, it bounced. And apparently this guy is a prolific scammer with a criminal record who has ripped off a lot more people in the past, and by the way, now he's just disappeared completely.
So did he use like a fake social security? Like how did this not show up on like a background check?
So yeah, he's missed court dates, and he's also skipped out on doing community service, which was a punishment for a DUI charge. So there's lots of people looking for this guy. His lawyer doesn't even know where he is. He's like, he didn't do this stuff, but I don't know where he is.
This guy's getting an executive assistant position at a major gaming studio.
Yeah.
While your hard-working ass can't even get a phone call.
Yeah, and
bullshit.
This whole time, towards the end of while he was working for them. By the way, he had quit, and it was like, oh, and they only noticed it afterwards. And during the interim, was running a interior design business publicly out in the open with all of the money that he stole from them, using to finance this. The whole story is very strange.
Just don't act guilty, and they'll take way longer to catch you, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like I said, the guy's lawyer, he doesn't even know where he is. And the only thing that anyone has to go on right now is the fact that he responded to a Facebook message from the local news outlet about an interview where he said that there was more to the story and he wanted to tell his side. But when the day for the interview came, he wasn't there.
Sounds like his side of the story is non-existent.
So now he has a warrant out for his arrest, but chances are, I would assume, he's probably moved away and is busy scamming someone else right at this very moment. So if you're a multi-millionaire with a very douchey-looking assistant, you might want to give your bank statements a very brief once-over.
Yeah.
Or just do that in general. Or I would assume that they have a accountant.
Yeah. That guy's asleep at the wheel too.
Yeah. He's complicit.
Like, yeah.
So I'm blaming.
How long did this go on?
It started in he was hired in 2014, and the embezzlement, quote unquote, Mr. Elliot, lawyer man, I say, shaving a few off the top. That started in 2015.
But how long did it go on
I think 2 years.
So that doesn't make any fucking sense, because the people running the books for both these companies.
He started small. He was like, I'm gonna buy like a nice blazer. And to be fair, he did donate like 60 grand, like total 60 grand to 2 charity organizations.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
So
that makes it all perfect.
Everything's, done and done.
Yeah. Huh, sorry, buddy. You're no Robin Hood.
Well,
You're
he's
just a robber.
still got away from it.
It's true.
Got away with it so far.
Well, the U.S. Marshals are on the case.
There's probably a lot of people on the case. He ripped off
The Texas Rangers.
I didn't
US
go into
Marshals.
it because I was talking about Pitchford in this, which, by the way, I'm saying it. Borderlands 3 delayed because fucking
this
CEO's
fucking-
going through all these problems.
Like,
Can't
yeah.
even pay employees. I know it was for his wife's restaurant, but you know, it's got to be heavy on his mind.
This man right here, this face you see,
Yeah.
he is the man who made Borderlands 3 late.
Or non-existent.
Yeah. Fucking
Yeah.
A. Yeah, look at your fucking look at your bank statements. God.
Yeah. Anyways, he also, I didn't put it in the story because I was just talking about Pitchford, but he's been ripping people off for years.
Yeah,
he had friends that came out of the woodwork like, yeah, he fucking ripped me off too.
That's
loaned him,
usually
all
how
this-
it
yeah.
goes.
So, if you see this guy,
He's probably
say
working at a
something.
hospital somewhere as a doctor.
Probably.
Anyways, watch a recent episode of News Dump where there's a new Deadpool coming out.
Apparently,
Except not really.
Yeah, it's a PG-13 cut is what everyone's kind of settled on, and it just intros with what's his name getting read to, and whatever. It's still
enough for Fox to completely fuck up their schedule for an entire year.
and also pull bodies away from seeing Aquaman.
Yeah, and so check that out, and also check out Weekly Weird News, where science is kind of fun sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes science is fun.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're all excited for Elon Musk news tomorrow.
Oh, baby.
And Facebook news tomorrow, a double hitter.
I'm so excited. I got so many links ready to go.
All right, watch our other shows, subscribe, tell your friends, follow the podcast on all the podcast
Tell
apps.
your dad.
Tell your dad.